Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshakarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm very excited to be here this wonderful Sunday evening for the Sunday Feast program. Is everyone excited to be here?
Yes.
Yes.
To see you.
Oh, thank you. Well, if I had known earlier, then I would have groomed myself well for the occasion. So yesterday, we were discussing at the house of Vijay Prabhu a very interesting topic. We were discussing on that. The topic was, how do you function with the mind? And there was a quotation from the Kathopanishad that we had stated. Anyone remembers that? Anyone who was there yesterday? As do we remember the Kathopanishad, it spoke about a car and a driver and a chauffeur. Yes? Yes?
Nothing and something.
Something and nothing. It's like the temple hall today. There's someone someplace and there's no one nowhere in some place. The pockets of emptiness. That happens in this material world. It's nothing new. We just have to go on. Anyways, the Kathopanishad was trying to help us out by letting us know that every moment of a life, every single moment of our conscious existence, we have to work with 4 elements: the self, the intelligence, the mind, and the senses. The intelligence has to be very powerful, knowing very well the desire of the self, to control the mind, which would then give proper impetus to the senses. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, a devotee is described as being very intelligent. Jai Krishna Bhakta Sei Bora Chatur. Chatur could mean clever, it could mean opportunistic, it could mean intelligent, resourceful. So devotee has to be all of that. Because that is what the scriptures are stating. So you're ready to be that Chatur? Everybody would want to be a Chatur? Yes?
Yes.
No? Yes? So was it a yes for the no? Yes. We would want to be resourceful, we would want to be intelligent. So even in our in our spiritual quest, it is important that we are intelligent. So what is intelligence? Recently I came across a very wonderful illustration of what is intelligence. I would like to share that with you. A young man, let's say a middle-aged man like a Krishna Vidyaprabhu, he tells his son, son, I would want you to get married to the girl of my choice. That's a dad. You do realize that this is all just an imagination, right? Isn't it? So that the dad is telling the son, I want you to get married to the girl of my choice. The son says, no, it's not happening. The dad says, well, the girl of my choice is the daughter of Bill Gates. The son says, all right. I would definitely want to do that. So the son has agreed now. So now the man goes to Bill Gates and tells Bill Gates, I will want your daughter to be married to my son. Bill Gates says, not happening. The man says, well, my son is the CEO of the World Bank, the director of the World Bank. Bill Gates says, all right. I agree. So now Bill Gates has agreed, the son has agreed. So the man goes to the World Bank and he tells the World Bank that I want you to appoint my son as the director of the World Bank. The World Bank says, not happening. So the man says, well, my son happens to be the future son-in-law of Bill Gates. The World Bank agrees. That is how businesses work in India. Isn't it? Very intelligent. You get your desires fulfilled. So devotee has to be chatur, intelligent, resourceful. I hope everyone gets the principle. One does not take other meanings out of the story. principle is a devotee has to be chatur, resourceful. And with such resourcefulness, with such intelligence, when we try and let the mind focus on that which is auspicious, and we avoid the mind focusing on the inauspicious. Yesterday we discussed that. So when everything is hunky-dory, everything is going well, philosophy sits well with everyone. Right? Now, why wouldn't we agree to such a nice advice? Or we agree with such a nice advice? Sounds good enough. But when it comes to application, there may be some challenges. And generally, the challenge is very circumstantial. The obstacles are very circumstantial. In the sense, today we may agree to the proposition. Tomorrow something may come up and we may find it difficult to keep up our end of the bargain. That happens so often. Right? Like at the end of Dwapar, the two brothers are fighting. And the fight was about who gets the buried wealth. Dwapar Yuga is the previous age. This present age is Kali Yuga. So there was equal division of property. And then one of the brothers was in need, so the elder brother sold off a certain part of his inheritance, land, to the younger one. The younger one was stealing the land and they found buried wealth. Now, there was a case there with gold coins in it. So he goes to his elder brother and he says, "This is yours." "How's that?" "Well, you sold me the land, not what is in the land. That's yours." The elder brother says, "No, that's not mine, that's yours, because once I've sold you the land, everything within the land belongs to you." So they go to the king. The king says, "I need a day to think about it." So the next day, the brothers are back in court. So the king says, "So what is the fight about?" The elder brother says, "I sold him the land, not what is buried in the land, so that is mine." And the younger one says, No. Once the deal is done, the deal is done. Everything that is within the land belongs to me." It was just the opposite. The king was surprised. Said, "Yesterday the fight was on completely different grounds. Today it's just the opposite." So the brothers say, "Yes, yesterday was Dwapar Yuga, today is Kali Yuga." Isn't it? So sometimes challenges are really circumstantial. Could be just a change of yuga. Certain days are good, certain days are bad. Have you ever been to the doctors? How many of us have had an experience of being at the doctor's office, clinic? Everyone? Sorry. Very sensitive topic. Come right over. An old friend, couple. Right, work with them. The doctor's office. Does it sometimes seem that a doctor is like, rather than a good name, it could be Dr. Curse, someone who gives you a curse? Like the dentist, you have 6 cavities in 2 teeth. I mean, why do you have to curse us like that? Sounds like a curse. You know the joke about the doctor who had good news and bad news? Everyone knows about that? You don't know about it, you forgot the joke. I've said that joke so many times. It's threadbare right now. Anyways, so patient lands up at the doctor's and the doctor says, I have good news and bad news. Which one would you want to hear first? At the doctor's, obviously you want to hear the good news first. Because bad news, everyone knows what's the bad news, right? Ill health. So what's the good news, doc? The good news is that you have cancer and you're going to die in 48 hours. So now what's the bad news? We were trying to reach you since yesterday. 48 hours off the start. Doctors can surprise you. Very much. Of course. So many years ago, 5,000 years ago, there was a Dr. Shringi and the patient was Parikshit. And Dr. Shringi pronounced a curse to Parikshit. Parikshit, you are going to die in 7 days. And no diagnosis given. Just a curse is pronounced. We have no idea what is happening to you. All we can say is got 7 days to live. So that was Dr. Shringi cursing Parikshit Maharaj. Did anyone ever give you that take on the Srimad Bhagavatam? It's unique, right? Dr. Shringi and Parikshit the patient. Parikshit was, he just visited the clinic, Shammik Rishi's clinic. Some things transpired. By the time he comes back home, he has a notice from the doctor in the mail. The notice states, you are cursed to die in 7 days. What do you think Parikshit Maharaj did? Do you think Parikshit Maharaj sat down and put down things in his bucket list? Did he prepare a bucket list like things to do? No. Parikshit Maharaj decided to go and sit on the banks of the Ganga and hear about the glories and descriptions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Leela, the activities, the pastimes of Krishna and his incarnations, and the loving interactions between Krishna and his devotees. He was eager to hear that. It wasn't the first time he was doing it, hearing, because ever since his birth, it was very natural for him to have regular hearings of Krishna's pastimes. But Parikshit Maharaj was an intelligent man, an intelligent devotee, Chatur. So he handed over his kingdom to his son Janmajaya, and he decided that this is it. Let me spend my last days just hearing the wonderful glories of Krishna. And by the arrangement of Providence, Shukdev Goswami, he appeared there and he spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam to him. 7 days. On the 4th day of the narration, and this was like 24/7, Parikshit Maharaj was not sleeping, he was not eating, he was not drinking. It wasn't because he was very sad and depressed, and neither was he in a comatose, like in coma, ICU. He was very hale and hearty. He was sitting in nice Padmasana yoga position and attentively hearing the descriptions as the nectar flowed from the mouth of Shukadeva Goswami. So most of the narrators of the Srimad Bhagavatam, they agree that it was on the fourth day that Shukadeva Goswami started describing the glories of Krishna. Basically the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It was on the fourth day that Parikshit Maharaj insisted that he would like to hear about Krishna's activities in great detail. He requested Shukadeva Goswami to not try and rush up things. He requested him to elaborately describe everything, not to be concise. And Shukadeva Maharaj was very happy to do that. Now this is a very difficult situation. Death is certain. Now, when we say death is certain, it doesn't mean that Parikshit was incapable of doing anything about it. Now generally, when something in a body goes wrong, really wrong, then there is a possibility of an organ transplant. Some of the vital organs can be transplanted. But the curse that was pronounced to Parikshit, it kind of affected all of his organs. It was multi-system failure for Parikshit, basically. But Parikshit Maharaj was so advanced, he had such advanced technology at his disposal that if need be, he could go for a whole body transplant, literally speaking. He was so powerful that he could counteract that curse and nullify its effect. Now, when you have such power with you, is it easy to accept the will of providence? Should we consider Parikshit to be a very pessimistic person? A few years ago, he was ready to fight with Kali personified. He was attacking a bull and a cow. And if Kali would have been able to do that, all morality, all values, good principles in the world would have disappeared. Now, if he were a really pessimistic person, all he would have done is he would put his hands on his head and would have sat crying right there. Oh my God, doomsday has arrived. Let me get together my clan and let us just wait for the world to end. He did not do that. Single-handedly, he stopped Kali, challenged him, and put such a fear within the heart of Kali that Kali took shelter of Parikshit Maharaj and he prayed for his very life. Parikshit Maharaj forgave him and gave him shelter, knowing very well that as long as he followed the directions of the great acharyas, of the spiritual preceptors of the scriptures, and he followed his own heart that was full of goodness, Kali Yuga would not be able to spread its effect. Even a little bit, even for an inch. That was how sure Parikshit Maharaj was of being a perfect instrument in the hands of Krishna, a powerful instrument in the hands of Krishna, an instrument which could stop the effects of Kali, definitely. So obviously Parikshit Maharaj, when he accepted the curse, even though he was able to challenge it, Parikshit Maharaj could have taken the entire matter to court, He could have hired a very good lawyer, and the lawyer could have taken on dates after date after date, and it could have extended for a long time, Things happen like that in this world. But no, he did not do that. How does one do that? How does one accept one's mortality? And accept it in such a way that actually one conquers death. Now that is a very auspicious thought. To accept the will of providence, to accept the reality of this world in defeat, knowing very well that we won't be victorious against the effect of time. That is weakness. It is inauspicious. That is not what we constitutionally are meant to do. Aparayamitastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabhav yadin bharate jagat. We are not having the same qualities as this material world has. The material world is temporary, the material world is full of dualities, happiness and distress. The material world is a world of forgetfulness. That is not who we are. We are Satchidananda, we are eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss, and we better live according to who we are. Who we are supposed to be. That is our destiny. That is our inheritance. That is what we have received from Krishna himself, being his part and parcel. Hence, to accept our mortality and conquer over death is an art. However, it's an art not so easily learned or accepted. It's very difficult to accept this. So under extreme trying circumstances, what does one do? How does one accept situations that are really difficult and still be hopeful, still be optimistic, still be positive and do the right thing? Basically, do that which is auspicious, such that we achieve our desired result. How does one do that? So the Srimad Bhagavatam reveals something very, very illustrative and instructive. In the 10th canto, when Parikshit Maharaj is expressing his desire to hear about Krishna, he's not concerned about how many days are left for him to live. Have you? How many of y'all have ever had the experience of playing a video game where there are points to be scored and you have certain number of lives, like you have 5 lives or 6 lives, and you can go on playing till and scoring points till you lose all of those 6 lives? You have ever played a game like that? Yeah? Adults haven't? That's strange. Yes? You know, as you go on losing your lives, you're constantly looking at the time and you're looking at the number of lives left. And you're playing the game at the same time. Because you want to win the game. You don't want to lose another life. And the pace is picking up. So Parikshit Maharaj is like midway, he's on the 4th day of the narration is there. It is expected that there should be some kind of anxiety. There should be a little doubt arising somewhere. Let us see what Parikshit does, or what has been explained about what is his reaction. So these are the words of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Dronyastra viplushtam idamadangam santana bijam kuru pandavanam jugopakukshim gatat chakro matushchame sharanam gataya. I remember the time when I was in the womb of my mother, my body was destroyed by the Brahmastra. My limbs were literally destroyed. And my mother, she ran and took shelter of Krishna. So the Acharyas, the great seers, commentators, they say this is very interesting. Parikshit Maharaj is kind of remembering a very, very tragic incident in his life, which isn't normal. Generally, when one is in danger, one does not try and remember how there had been difficult times previously in one's life too. Because one is so much focused on the danger around us, practically that is all that exists for one. So Parikshit here is remembering that how the weapon of the son of Drona, the Brahmastra, had hit him. So 4 days ago, when Shukdev Goswami had begun his narration on the first day, he had explained to Parikshit about his own birth, about Parikshit's birth. And therein he had mentioned that Krishna had protected him in the womb. Now 4 days on, Parikshit is giving his understanding, what he had seen there. A direct visual through Parikshit's eyes. He says, Dronastra viplushtam idam madangam. My limbs had been burned by the weapon of Ashwatthama. How is that? How could the weapon reach Parikshit? Why wasn't it stopped? Who all were there? Oh, the 5 Pandavas and Krishna. They were all there. Krishna had recently seen the coronation of Yudhishthir as the emperor of the entire planet. And he had seen all the Pandavas being appointed to different positions to take care of the kingdom, the empire, under the directions of Yudhishthir Maharaj. And he was making plans to depart for Dwarka. At that moment, 6 intense, blazing weapons streaked like comets to the sky. Each one of them was a Brahmastra. 5 for the Pandavas and 1 for the descendant of the Pandavas. That was Ashwatthama. The weapons were so powerful that the Pandavas were completely engaged in trying to protect themselves from the effect of the Brahmastra. You know, like when you're in a flight, just before the flight takes off, they make this announcement. In case of a fall in cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop down from the cabinet above. Pull the mask towards yourself and put it over your nose and breathe in deeply. Even if there is no something happening in the tube, be assured that oxygen is flowing. Put on your own mask first before assisting. That was the kind of announcement that was done then for the Pandavas. Handle your individual Brahmastra first before assisting anyone else. So the Pandavas were completely engaged. There was no way the Pandavas could try and stop the sixth Brahmastra, the weapon that was going to destroy the descendant of the Kuru dynasty. They couldn't stop it. What about Krishna? Krishna did not have any weapons. He had promised that he would come and be present. He would not fight. Now, what do you think? If Krishna had come with all of his weapons and he would have said, no, the weapons are here just for presentation, exhibition. I'm not going to fight. Would the Kauravas have believed him? Duryodhana especially, Duryodhana wouldn't have believed him. Perhaps Duryodhana made it sure that Krishna had locked up everything in Dwarka. In the lockers in Duryodhana's bank. And he had the keys to that locker. So Krishna had come without his weapons. So he was finished. In today's language, Parikshit was saying that I was mute. My mother's womb had become a microwave oven, and I was inside that oven, and I was going to be mute. Burned. But then something very interesting happened. Uttara, the mother of Parikshit, she ran to seek help. Now the Pandavas, they were educated in the science of fighting, weapons. It seems that Uttara was also quite well educated in that. She could realize that there is this Brahmastra, and somehow within her intelligence was a GPS that indicated that the weapon was directed towards her womb and not her. She had some kind of GPS. Wouldn't we wish to have a GPS like that? Functioning within our intelligence. So that gives us more clarity. And rather than seek shelter of her husbands who had recently been victorious in the most terrible war, she ran towards Krishna, who had practically not participated in the war. And Uttara had not been, she had not been training for this. There was no dress rehearsal done. What is that called? Drill? She hadn't done any drills before this. That was her immediate response. She ran and took shelter of Krishna. And why did she do it? So that is explained. Pahi pahi mahayogin deva deva jagatpate nanyam tvad abhayam pashya yatra mrityuh parasparam. O Lord of Lords, Lord of the universe, you are the greatest of mystics. Please protect me, for there is no one else who can save me from the clutches of death in this world of duality. This task of killing can be done by many people, but the task of protecting and reviving is the monopoly of Krishna. The power to give Abhedan is only with Krishna. So Uttara, she realized that the chances of her embryo surviving seemed to be very minimal. But she had faith that Krishna not only has the power to protect you from death, but Krishna has the power to revive you from death. And that is only with Krishna that can happen. Only Krishna has the monopoly to do that. Only Krishna can protect us from death, and also Krishna can revive us after death. So Krishna, when he saw Uttara approach, what did he do? Did Krishna like snap his fingers and go abracadabra? That would look good on camera. Did Krishna like first of all accept the worship of Uttara? Yes, I'm ready for your prayers. Abhayamastu. He grant you all fearlessness. Did Krishna go like that? Or did Krishna kind of want to show off like snap, snap, Brahmastra, go away? But he could have done all of that because he's very powerful. But when Uttara ran and took shelter of Krishna, Krishna became so anxious to save her womb. Practically Krishna was sweating. Not because he wasn't sure what to do. It was out of love, intense love for his devotees. And what did Krishna do? He jumped into Uttara's womb. He entered Uttara's womb and personally stood there to protect Parikshit. Now, if he could have done that within the womb, why not from without the womb? I mean, he could have just stood there, Uttara, get behind me. Let the Brahmastra hit me on the chest. You know? Nothing would happen. He could have done that. Why was he trying to do it incognito? Krishna wasn't thinking. Because where there is love, an intense love, one responds rather than analyzes. And if we have somebody like Krishna who is so powerful responding, then obviously there's going to be a danger. So Krishna personally entered the womb of Uttara. And what was he doing? Was he satisfied just being in her womb? No. Such was the intensity of his anxiety for keeping the embryo safe that Krishna was circumambulating the embryo. He wasn't doing parikrama for parikrama's sake. He was being watchful, lest the Brahmastra change its direction. I should be present everywhere. A simple Brahmastra made Krishna work so hard. But it wasn't the Brahmastra that made him work. It was Uttara's surrender and dedication to him. Uttara's trust in him. His love for the Pandavas. Now, wouldn't we want to surrender our life to such a personality of Godhead? Who could have ordered anyone and anything in the universe, protect Uttara's womb, and it would have happened. He could have wished it, he could have willed it, but ultimately his will is the will of providence. But no, that is not who Krishna is. Krishna is the perfect person with the perfect heart. a heart of gold, a heart of beautiful sentiments. And that is why there are so many references of Krishna revealing his beautiful heart out of his intense affection and anxiety for his devotees. And such references brings tears to the eyes of those who are soft-hearted. Just remembering how much Krishna loves his devotee. Why would Parikshit be remembering about Krishna's compassion? Or before that, let me explain something really very, very touching. That would maybe prove to be a very helpful tool to all of us. Yamarajji, in a discussion with saintly people, the all-observant, powerful God of justice, Yamaraj, the learned Yamarajji, he was having this discussion and he says, in reference to Krishna's feelings towards his devotee, he says that when a devotee is chanting the holy names of Krishna, have you heard that before, the holy names of Krishna? Does it sound familiar? Holy names of Krishna? So, do you know of any holy names of Krishna? Do you all know some holy names of Krishna? So could we in unison, together, in chorus, chant the holy names? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yamaraji says when a devotee is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna personally appears and is guarding the devotee. When a devotee is chanting Hare Krishna, when a devotee is chanting the holy names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna personally appears there to protect the devotee from the evil eye, from any influences that would distract the devotee's mind, consciousness from being focused on the holy names. Krishna does that. Just imagine when we express our will, which is powerful enough to overcome Krishna's protection. Can you imagine how powerful is Krishna's energy that Krishna also has to subdue himself in front of the expression of such a desire that the living entity has? That Krishna is right there protecting us from all distractions and still our mind gets distracted. Now that's something. We are so powerful, aren't we? Rather, the desire of the living entity is very powerful. And Krishna, being the gentleman that he is, he always respects our desire. So as soon as the devotee desires to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna appears to protect the devotee, and the moment the devotee is chanting Hare Krishna, and by the time we are on the Hare, our mind is somewhere else. Krishna respects our independence and says, "Sir, you can do whatever you want. I'm still here. If you remember me, here I am to protect you. If you want to forget me, that's your choice." So Yamaraji says Krishna appears to protect the devotee, circumambulating the devotee as the devotee is chanting Hare Krishna. But Krishna appears with his weapons. He appears with his club. He appears with his Sudarshan disc. Why does he do that? Because Krishna is so anxious to protect his devotee from any distraction that just in case something comes up, Krishna is ready to cut it down with his Sudarshan disc. So all we have to do is simply, sincerely call out to Krishna to help us be focused on the holy names. And Krishna with his Sudarshan disc will cut down all the distractions. But why does he appear with a club then? because that shows his love for his devotee. Because within him, within his mind, Krishna is thinking. Krishna is thinking to himself, if the chakra fails in its duty, then I'll use a club and I'll crush the distraction to powder. That is Krishna's affection for his devotee. That although Krishna himself is powerful enough, he still appears with his discus just to be sure that his devotee is protected. And not only that, to be doubly sure that his devotee is protected, Krishna appears with his club and discus. Therefore, Yamraji tells his followers, never approach a devotee who is chanting the holy names of Krishna. He tells the Yamadutas, never approach them, otherwise you will be crushed to powder or you'll be cut down to pieces by the discus of Krishna. So why is Parikshit Maharaj remembering how Krishna protected him in the womb? Is Parikshit Maharaj thinking that, hey, Krishna protected me in the womb, so he's going to protect me even now? Isn't that how we think sometimes? Well, last year I didn't study really well, so I just prayed to Nrsingadev and somehow everything went well. So I'm sure that he's going to protect me with this year, so let me go unprepared, otherwise Nrsingadev will not feel happy that I did not trust him enough. So I should go unprepared. Just imagine, you have this viva, you have this oral examination, and you tell the examiner, sir, पिछले बार भी ऐसा ही हुआ था, the last time it was the same, और आपके जैसे कोई था यहाँ पे बैठा, ऐसा प्रश्न पूछा मैं तो सिट्टी पिट्टी बोलूँगा। फिर उसके बाद मैंने जो नरसिंहदेव को याद किया, सर नरसिंहदेव ने आपकी सिट्टी पिट्टी बोल करवा इस बार भी ऐसा ही होगा, गारंटी के साथ सर। Can you do that? No. So is Parikshit Maharaj having expectations of survival? Is that why he is remembering Krishna? Wouldn't that be really sad? Should we end here?
No, we can go finish it up.
Well, I'm asking the managers. So it's so natural to be having expectations of Krishna, especially if we've had an experience of Krishna's protection in the past. Like Parikshit Maharaj could be thinking, ब्रह्मशाप से ब्रह्मास्त्र से पहले बचाया तो ब्रह्मशाप से बचा देंगे. Krishna protected me from the astra of Ashwatthama, from the weapon of Ashwatthama, so why wouldn't he protect me now? So is it alright to have expectations? Especially expectations that make us feel that yes, Krishna is always there to protect me, therefore I could do whatever I want, it doesn't matter. Is Parikshit Maharaj having such kind of expectations? A husband had invited his boss to his house for dinner in the evening. So he went to his wife. They were just newly married, so he went to his wife. He told his wife, it's in Hindi, joke Hindi mein. कि सुनो, शाम को कुछ बना देना, boss आ रहे हैं. Please, literally translated, please make something, since the boss is coming. But make is not a good word, prepare something. Go with the literal translation. It helps you. कुछ बनाना शाम के लिए, तो शाम को पत्नी ने मुंह बनाया. Okay, in English it means that in the evening she made a kind of a really difficult face. That's a literal translation. Now that is not what the husband wanted. So be careful with your expectations, clarify expectations. Did Parikshit Maharaj have expectations of Krishna? He did not. And why was he remembering about Krishna protecting him? Because it was so long ago. Shouldn't he be concerned about how difficult a situation he is in right now? And after 3 days, this snake bird is going to come and it's going to strike him and he's going to die, being bitten by the snake bird. So, should we say that Krishna simply, or Parikshit Maharaj simply accepted the will of God? This is what Krishna wants, and let's just accept it. Is that what it is? How do we understand what is the will of God? A young man met a young girl at the Rath Yatra, and they kind of liked each other, so they told their parents about it, and their parents wanted to meet the likely partner before, giving their decision. So the boy went to the house of the girl, and the girl's mother, she told her husband that you have a good discussion with the boy and find out whether the boy is a good match for a girl. So they go to a private room, and the father, he asks the boy, do you have a job? He says, no sir. So what are you going to do about it? Everything happens by the will of Krishna. So that's the answer. The will of God. By the grace of God. Do you have a house? No sir. What are you going to do about it? Just chant Hare Krishna. And if it is the will of Krishna, then I'll have a house. Do you have some money in the bank, any bank balance? No sir. Zilch. Zero. How are you going to take care of a girl? If Krishna wills, by the will of Krishna, everything happens. So finally, after 15 minutes, they come out of the room. The boy is very confident. So later on, the wife, she asks her husband, how did it go? He said, good news and bad news. The bad news is he has no job, no bank balance, no house. The good news is that he thinks I am Krishna. That's not the will of Krishna. So how do we avoid misunderstandings like that? So Parikshit Maharaj, did he have expectations? No. Did he simply accept it as the will of God? No. Did he have any kind of misunderstanding? Krishna doing this to me? Was he being like resentful? I mean, if he had to make me die in these circumstances, then why did he even protect me? Why did he make me live? Was he resentful? Did Parikshit Maharaj had any kind of revengeful thought within him? Before I die, I'll curse this Shringi. So it's easy to be resentful, it's easy to be revengeful, it's easy to be having a misunderstanding. Like the man who was laughing when his friend was being attacked by a shark. Have you heard about that? No? Sounds gruesome?
Yes.
Okay. It's not. It's supposed to be funny. How? Let me explain. So two friends, they had gone to the beach. One of them was lying down in the sand, admiring the skies and the clouds. The other was in the water. Suddenly, he heard the man on the beach heard his friend call out, "Help! Shark! Help!" And the man burst out laughing. Such a dumbo, he's asking a shark for help? Misunderstanding is not good. Not such a misunderstanding. Right? On a serious note, Parikshit Maharaj could have had a misunderstanding. He could have been resentful, he could have been revengeful. None of that. Do we know why? Because he was simply counting his blessings. He was grateful for how Krishna had protected him. And hence he is describing that Krishna entered my womb. And although I had been burned, my limbs had been burned, he revived me. And I'm eternally grateful for that. Parikshit Maharaj remembered how his mother took shelter of Krishna and no one else. And he was grateful that his mother had done that. And therefore he mentions the fact that my mother took shelter of Krishna. She ran and she sought shelter of Krishna. So his expression of his gratitude clearly indicates that Parikshit Maharaj is simply counting his blessings. He is happy for what he has received and is not at all disturbed by the fact that in 3 days he is going to die. Because when one is grateful and one's heart is full of gratitude, real gratitude, gratitude for what we have received, when we understand and see clearly how much we have received by the grace of Krishna and the grace of Krishna's devotees. And one does not have to simply accept situations as the will of Krishna, because one has the firm conviction that Krishna knows what he is doing. There's a difference between the two understandings. One understanding is simply to accept something as the will of God because it is beyond one's reasoning. I don't know why this is happening, but maybe this is the will of God. Let me just accept it because I'm Krishna's devotee and I know Krishna protects. And the other understanding is to know that Krishna is a very, very sensitive, loving, and intelligent person. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is a person. And as a person, he is so intelligent that he knows exactly what he is doing. And if Krishna knows what he is doing, then what can go wrong? Nothing can go wrong. So Krishna consciousness is not the passive acceptance of something more powerful than ourselves. Krishna consciousness is an active understanding and engagement with the Supreme Lord, full of loving sentiments and emotions. And the only way that can actually be fruitful, such a relationship can actually be fruitful, is if we learn the art of counting our blessings. Every single moment of our life. And when we do that, the natural conclusion of such emotions is an intense faith based on logical understanding, an intense faith that Krishna knows exactly what he is doing. And thus, we don't need to worry. We are in safe hands. Just as a kitten in the mouth of the cat, its mother knows exactly what its mother is doing. Although the sharp teeth are right on the kitten's neck, but the kitten knows exactly, fully well, that its mother, the kitten has faith in its mother, knowing well that the mother knows exactly what she is doing. And is completely free from anxiety. Similarly, Parikshit Maharaj is completely free from anxiety, knowing very well that our loving Lord Shri Krishna knows exactly what he is doing. And hence, rather than focus on what is the tragedy that is going to befall him, he is remembering all the wonderful things that he has received from Krishna and is grateful for them. And the greatest benediction that most of us have received in the present age is the holy names of Krishna. And if we can understand how fortunate we are to have received the holy names of Krishna, and how fortunate we are to understand that we have received this beautiful gift, then in great, in intense gratitude, we'll call out for Krishna through chanting of his holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So let the mind always focus on auspicious thoughts. And sometimes in the garb of auspiciousness, there are actually inauspicious thoughts in the form of expectations, misunderstanding, not complete faith in who Krishna is, being resentful or being revengeful. Parikshit was not affected by any of these inauspicious thoughts. His mind was associated with auspiciousness, and hence he definitely achieved his desired goal. And for those who are not able to do that, since our mind gets associated with inauspiciousness, we achieve nothing. We achieve nothing. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki. So once again, we are very thankful to the entire temple management of ISKCON Calgary and the congregation devotees here for allowing us this opportunity to serve you. Hare Krishna.